The real truth about 0W20 versus 5W40. Stop what you are doing right now, because the oil sitting inside your engine at this exact moment might be slowly destroying it. Not overheating it, not blowing it up, not causing smoke or warning lights, destroying it quietly, silently, layer by layer. And the worst part is this: you might be doing everything right. You might be following the exact oil recommendation from your manufacturer. You might be changing your oil on time. You might be taking care of your car better than most people. And still your engine could be wearing itself down faster than its hood. That is not an exaggeration. That is reality. And today we're going to talk about something that most people never fully understand. They're all truth about 0W20 versus 5W40 engine oil, not the simplified version, not the marketing version, not the dealership version, their ale version. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what these oil types actually do, why manufacturers recommend what they recommend, and most importantly, which oil your engine actually needs depending on its age, condition, and usage. Because choosing the wrong oil is not something you feel immediately. It's something that shows up years later when the damage is already done. Let us start with the real conflict. This entire debate is not just about oil. It is about two completely different goals fighting each other inside your engine: fuel economy versus engine protection. Manufacturers are under pressure to improve fuel economy. They need to meet regulations. They need to hit efficiency targets. They need to show better mileage numbers on paper. But you, as a driver, Carib, out something completely different? You want your engine to last. You want reliability. You want to avoid expensive repairs. You want your car to reach 200,000 miles or more. These two goals do not always align, and engine oil sits right in the middle of that conflict, because thinner oil like 0W20 helps improve fuel economy, but thicker oil like 5W40 can provide stronger protection, especially under stress. So every time you choose an oil, you are making a trade, even if you do not realize it. You are choosing between efficiency and long T. Durability. Now, to understand why this even became an issue, we need to go back in time. Several decades ago, fuel economy was not as big of a concern. Engines commonly used thicker oils like 10W40 or 5W40. These oils provided strong protection because they maintained a thicker film between moving parts. But then everything changed. Fuel economy regulations became stricter. Governments pushed manufacturers to improve mileage. Consumers started caring more about efficiency. So engineers began looking for every possible way to reduce internal resistance. They improved aerodynamics. They optimized transmissions. They refined engine design. But then they found something simple and powerful: thinner oil. When oil is thinner, it flows more easily. That means the engine uses less energy to move it. Less energy wasted means slightly better fuel efficiency. Even if the improvement is small, it matters when you are producing millions of vehicles. So over time, the industry started shifting from thicker oils to thinner oils, from 10W40 to 5W30, then to 0W20, not big. All engines suddenly stopped needing protection, but because efficiency became the priority, and this shift is still affecting drivers today. Now let us break down what these oil numbers actually mean, because most people misunderstand them. Take 0W20 as an example. The first part, 0W described, show the oil behaves in cold temperatures. The W stands for winter. A lower number means the oil flows more easily when the engine is cold. So oil flows better at startup than 5 oil. This is helpful in cold climates because it allows the oil to reach in unique components faster during startup. Now, this con number is the one that matters most for protection. Then number 20 describes show thick the oil is when the engine is at operating temperature. Now compare that to 5W40. The 5W means it is slightly thicker at cold start than 0W, but the 40 is where the big difference is. At operating temperature, 40 is significantly thicker than 0W20. And here is the key idea you need to understand. Your engine spends most of its time running hot. That is when protection matters the most. So, high cold start performance is important. Their battle happens when the engine is fully warmed up. Now, where is something that most people never hear? The viscosity numbers on oil bottles are based on laboratory testing conditions, usually around 100 degrees Celsius. But your engine does not operate in a controlled lab environment. Inside, your engine temperatures can vary dramatically. Certain components experience much higher heat. For example, turbochargers can get extremely hot. Bearings under load generate significant friction heat highs. Pied moving parts create intense localized temperatures. In some cases, soil can be exposed to temperatures well above what it is tested for. And when oil gets hotter than expected, its viscosity changes. Thinner oil becomes thinner. And this is where the risk begins, because engine oil does not just lubricate, it creates a protective film between metal surfaces. If that film becomes too thin, metal starts to come into contact, and once metal touches metal, wear begins. It may not be visible immediately, but over time it leads to damage. This is how engines slowly degrade. Now, before someone says their car runs perfectly fine on W20, let us address that most engines do not fail suddenly. Wear is gradual. It builds up over thousands of miles. You do not notice it day to day. There is now warning light for internal wear. There is no alert that says your camshaft is wearing down faster than normal. By the time symptoms appear, the damage is already advanced. So short-term performance does not tell you the full story. What matters is long-term wear. And when you look at long-term patterns, a clearer picture starts to emerge. Dear engines, especially those originally designed for thicker oil, using very thin oil like 0W20 can increase wear over time. This happens because the engine was not designed for such thin viscosity. The clearances, the oil passages, and the lubrication system were all engineered around thicker oil. When you introduce thinner oil into that system, the protective film becomes weaker. And over time, this can lead to increased wear in critical areas, such as camshafts, bearings, and cylinder walls. It does not mean immediate failure, but it can shorten the life. Now let us talk about where 5W40 stands out. At top operating temperature, it is much thicker. This means it maintains a stronger oil film. That stronger film provides better protection, especially under high load conditions. This becomes important in situations like heavy driving, high temperatures, towing loads, turbocharged stress, or high mileage engines. In these scenarios, the added thickness of 5W40 acts like a buffer. It helps prevent metal-to-metal contact, it reduces wear, and it can extend the life of the engine. Think of a added layer of protection. But now we need to balance the discussion, because 0W20 is not bad. In fact, in many modern engines, it is exactly what should be used. Modern engines are built differently. They have tighter tolerances, more precise machining, advanced oil delivery systems, and components designed specifically for low viscosity oil. In these engines, using thicker oil like 5W40 can actually cause issues. It can restrict flow in tight passages. It can alter pressure characteristics. It can interfere with systems designed or thinner oil. So if your engine was designed for 0W20, then using it is not a mistake. It is the correct choice. This is why context matters. Here is the truth that simplifies everything. There is now universally best oil. There is only the oil that best matches your engine, and your engine is just defined by its design. It is also defined by its age, condition, and usage. One of the most overlooked factors in this entire discussion is mileage. As your engine ages, internal components wears lightly. Clearances increase. The tiny gaps between moving parts become larger over time. When those gaps increase, then oil becomes less effective because it cannot maintain the same level of protection. This is where thicker oil can become beneficial. It compensates for those increased clearances. It restores a stronger oil film, and it helps reduce further wear. This is why many experienced mechanics recommend slightly thicker oil for high mileage engines. Not as a universal rule, but as a practical adjustment based on real-world conditions. Now let us talk about cost, because this is where many people make decisions. Using the inner oil can improve fuel efficiency slightly. You might gain 1 or 2 miles per gallon over a year. That could save some money. But now compare that to the potential cost of engine wear. Repairing internal engine components can be extremely expensive. Camshaft wear, bearing damage, or cylinder wear can cost thousands to fix. So the real question is not just about saving fuel. It is about long-term cost versus short-term savings. Saving a small amount now might lead to much larger expenses. So what should you actually do? Let us simplify it into a clear decision. Framework. If your car is newer and designed for 0W20, then you should generally stick with it. The engine was built for that oil, and it will perform as intended. If your car is older or originally designed for thicker oil, then consider using a slightly thicker option like 5W30 or 55W40 depending on your conditions. If your engine has high mileage, then you should start thinking differently. At that stage, protection becomes more important than efficiency, as lightly thicker oil can help reduce wear and extend engine life. If you drive aggressively to heavy loads or live in a hot climate, then thicker oil can provide additional protection. And if you're unsure, the best thing you can do is get Ozzed oil analysis. This test gives you direct insight into what is happening inside your engine. It shows wear metals and helps you determine whether your current oil is doing its job. If you talk to experienced mechanics people who actually work on engines and see internal wear patterns, you will notice a trend. Engines that uses lightly thicker oil, especially a tire mileage of 10, show less wear over T. Minota weighs but often enough that it matters. This is not about ignoring manufacturer recommendations. It is about understanding when those recommendations may no longer be optimal for your specific situation. Now let us bring everything together. 0W20 provides excellent cold start performance. It improves fuel efficiency. It works well in modern engines designed for it. But it offers thinner protection at high temperatures. 540 provides stronger protection under heat. It is better suited for high mileage engines. It performs well under heavy load conditions, but it may slightly reduce fuel efficiency. The real truth is simple. Your engine does not care about marketing claims, it cares about protection. And the right oil is the one that provides the best protection for your engine in its current state. Right now, the oil inside your engine is either helping it last longer or slowly wearing it down, and you will not feel the difference today. But you will see it years from now, so do not guess. Do not blindly follow labels. Take the time to understand your engine. Make an informed decision. Because Engine cannot tell you what it needs. It can only respond to what you give it. And once the damage is done, it cannot be reversed. In the next video, we're going to look at another hidden factor that damages engines over time, something even more overlooked than oil. And once you understand it, you will never ignore it again. I will see you there.